So something very powerful and important came up, and I can't shake it out of my head. In a DM, a woman was inquiring next steps, my suggestion on guidance, and um, it was around this approach to healing, living your way in a way that abides by these rules and these laws that we all do, but following one basic truth, capital T, is the body only heals. And it's not getting to a point where you heal from any injury. I call almost everything an injury because there's different grades, there's different expressions, and you're going to go at anything from a rolled ankle to a cyst to skin responses to a tumor the exact same way anyway. Looking at all angles of your life, not just what training do I do for my ankle, what foods do I eat to clear this up, what do I abstain from to avoid this reaction, but looking at everything. And it's not getting to a point where you don't give a shit about things, where you just live a life, I don't give a shit. It's you give more shits. you care more. You feel way more than you would prior to living this way and accepting that initial number one truth, and then going about your healing with every opportunity being to another level. And I don't care how minor the injury is or how minor the expression, that is what's here. Not just learning the lesson, but actually bringing your physical, emotional, mental capacity to a higher level, spiritual capacity. The lessons are always going to be there. Body's always creating lessons, but it goes beyond that. It's again not just mindset and positivity. And what's the lesson in these negative experiences and feeling this way? What's the lesson? No. We're going over across everything. You're going to touch everything. Everything changes to the extent that you want it to. And so it's not getting to a point that you look at healing responses in your body moving forward from this point on, because once you heal, you will then look at other things moving forward and go, okay, I know exactly what to do with this. Okay. And then you live a life and you're burning hard and you're experiencing, and then you will know, okay, I know what to do with this. And then you can even in retrospect look back and go, wow, my body responded there because I didn't look at this, but it was still helping me in those moments where we look at these past moments in our life as either the worst we've ever had, like, oh my gosh, I was so awful there. Where was the body then? And if you look deep enough, it was right there all along. Or we grant those times or label those times as the best of our lives. That was the best I had. Why? Because I could eat anything and not worry about it. I was the strongest I'd ever been. My skin was wrinkle-free, right? But if we went in and asked more questions around those periods of times in your life, we would find that the body was screaming at you to make some changes, just not wrinkled skin, not weakness, and not in the area of digestion, although if we went in deeper, it would be there. You just didn't know what to look for. And so again, it's not getting to a point where you don't give a shit. You don't feel anything. You will actually feel more. You will sense more. You'll become more aware. You will care more about where it applies to for you to receive the most. What you won't spend energy on are the things you thought were the game changers. And you spent a lot of time and energy in those game changers and what was being sold to you, or what was being passed down through families to you, or what was being positioned as truth. And you went into that and didn't work. And that's why I say all the time, what works, works all the time. That's why it's not going to hurt you to put massive effort into whatever approach you take into healing and medicine, because your body's just going to tell the truth of your efforts. And if it works, it works. It doesn't work at a certain latitude and longitude line, as I said, and I'm going to do another post on that. Having just come off a trip, it doesn't work differently because you were born to a different native, origin or language, or it doesn't matter. It's all across the board. And what works will always work. And what doesn't work will always not work. And working is not I healed and I felt good for 3 months or 3 years. What works is whatever you applied to get to that 3 months and that 3 years, you can apply it 3 year in a day or 3 month, 1 day later, and it will still work then. If it left you or fails you or on 3 year, 1 day mark, 3 month, 1 day mark, it never worked in the first place. And that's the honesty we have to be here for. So you will get so high that all these little things that you thought were of importance and of significance and of worthy of receiving your attention no longer do. So it's not giving a shit. It's just not spending time and energy in places that have nothing to do with healing. They're so frivolous. They're so arbitrary. They don't make any sense. You will then have all this reserve because healing to another level holds this energy reserve that it keeps expanding, and you can spend more on things and more on things and more. And then you look at the heavy hitters. You look at the things that are actually going to change you. You look at the things that are more important. But it's not this lifestyle of fuck it, I get to eat whatever and do whatever because my body and screw the rules and screw falling in line and kinda, but no, not at all actually. There's an actual approach to it. It's not just shooting blanks into a night sky and calling it freedom, and then when the body responds again being like, well, that level of freedom for that period of time was good. I'm glad I got those memories because that was fun. Or we get to a point where it's just like, I'm at this age, screw it, I'm just going to do whatever I want. You can have all of it. That's what I'm saying. You can have all of it. Might there be times where there's rigidity and structure? Of course there is. Might there be times where there's not? Of course there will be. And then you will know when those times are appropriate for you and when that makes sense for you. That's the point. But you can have it all. It's not this lifestyle of, I just say, screw it to everything. Or I got to abide and strict and be strict and I can never go on trips. Oh, I wish I could go on trips and eat the foods and do the things and do. You can see where that all fits. But again, when you heal how I'm talking about, you will heal 2 levels where you will feel more and therefore you will give more of a shit because you understand how important you with you is and why that is the most important relationship. And that's why you wanting to, express with and share with family or share with a loved one and share with your neighbors, whatever the relationship is, or share with your pets or your plants or serve in some capacity that you feel goes beyond just you being you. It's you first. And so I just wanted to clear that because it came up and I've been holding it in this whole morning, and it's a fascinating point to be made. So take with it as you will. All right. Going to the store. Gotta get coffee.